A creamy saffron pasta with kale and chanterelles, which is a great, like, tasty and creamy thing. So, and pasta is also a great thing to just add. It's a very easy way to cook.
Hi Tess, welcome to Yodoozy. So I'll just start with the questions. You're on a blog, you have a Pinterest page, you also have an Instagram account which is dedicated to all of your plant-based recipes. So how did you get into this lifestyle?
So I always loved food, and I always thought that food was something more than just something we eat to survive. So for me, food is lifestyle. It's a way of expressing feelings and creativity, and it's a way to explore new places and learn new things. So it's just happened because that's what I love, really. So yeah, I just somehow tried to make what I loved. I just tried to be able to work with what I love. So, and then I ended up with these things.
Okay, so your recipes, they're like really popular in social media. I saw like a lot of really cool recipes which I'd love to try. So can you tell a little bit more about, how you started and how it feels right now to have such an enormous reach?
So I cook plant-based food, and that's really so it's like vegan food, but without so much rules that I think vegan food can have sometimes, not always. So my thing is cooking plant-based food, and I really want to just inspire people to eat more tasty, yummy, plant-based green food, whatever you want to call it. So, and that's no matter if you eat it all the time or just every now and then, or if you just have it as sides. I want the green food or the plant-based food to be really delicious. So that's my main that's the main thing that I do. So I want to create recipes that are easy for people to cook, that are have ingredients that most people can find in their nearest store. So that's what I want to inspire people with. And about the thing to about reaching people, I still find that kind of strange because obviously I put out things there, and not only recipes but also like when I travel and different things I do. And I still think that it feels strange sometimes when people that I don't know, which obviously most people that are there in my Instagram account page don't know them because there are a few people. And so when people that I don't know what I'm doing and things, I just sometimes like, oh, you know that. And that's because I obviously posted it, but it's just sometimes it feels like it's just my tiny bubble. So I don't really think about people actually consuming it. So I just feel like I'm putting things out there, and then it's hard to like feel that people are actually consuming it when you don't see that much people. Obviously, people write, and I write with people, and it's really nice to have that communication, but still a bit strange, but very, very funny because I get to do what I love. So I'm happy about it.
That's amazing. Like, was there a particular thing that got you started, or was it just something that happened eventually, gradually?
I think a few, like things here and there happen at the same time. So, for example, in the beginning, when I was working mostly as a food stylist, and I did the Instagram thing as well, but I didn't really, it wasn't my main thing. Vogue, the American Vogue, reposted one of my photos during Thanksgiving, and I think so that obviously made more people that did not know of me before to find me. And so that happened. Then I feel, like quite a few hundred people found my account that like same day. And then, like few things happens every here and there. And I wrote my first cookbook, which also obviously made people find out about my name and stuff. So I would say that it's been some like few things here and there who or that just made me realize that I could really work with this and turn it into something bigger and more. So it's been a process without any actual like goal, but just that I want to do things that I liked, and then one thing gave the other and such. So
Being rereaded by Vogue is amazing, obviously. Okay, so like a lot of people think that having a plant-based diet or a plant-based recipes, it can be very exhausting and can be very tiring because there's a lot of restrictions, obviously. Has it in any way impacted your personal or your professional life?
Well, so I would say that so like everything you start new could be a bit maybe exhausting in the beginning because you have to learn new things and you have to maybe find new ingredients and such. But I would say once you're into that, once you know what recipes to cook and what things you want to buy, I think that it would be as easy as anything else. So I would say to people that to like to put in like have patience in the beginning because it will be easier. So for example, now I know like what stores to go to find my things, and I know what recipes I want to cook. So I wouldn't say it's, I would never say it's an exhausting thing in my everyday life. But then again, I'm very into this, so I understand if you're new to this and want to like change a lot of things and find new ingredients and such, it could be exhausting in the beginning. But then I would say to start a little by little. So just don't have to change everything over one night, but try like to find out about a few new ingredients or a few new recipes and be really good at like cooking that recipe, or maybe start by finding a few new ingredients that you could work with and learn how to use them before you like add a few others. So in the beginning, yes, maybe a little more time you would need to start this whole thing. But then when you're into it, it's just as easy as anything else.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Especially
Okay.
because like following those recipes or diets, it can seem daunting. But when you think about it like that, then everything at the start is daunting. Yeah.
Mm. Also,
Okay.
I would say so something that I always say to people is that I don't think you should force yourself to start eating plant-based. Then it's great for many reasons, for like your own health, for the environment and such, and also of course for the like for the animals. But I think if you're forcing yourself to eat plant-based just because you think that society tells you to, or because someone else is saying that you have to, or because it's trendy, I think it'll be a lot more work and a lot harder than if you just start to like cook more green because you think it's fun, or because you think it tastes great, because you feel very good when eating it. So I think it's good to not have too much pressure on yourself and like really ask yourself, why am I doing this? Because if you have a like a very clear like why then I think it's easier to follow it, because then you don't feel like you're forced to, but you just want to do it because you want to. And that's, for me, that's a big difference.
Okay, so especially with like vegan and plant-based recipes and diets, there's a lot of preconceived prejudices which kind of like follow all of these lifestyles and diets. So, what are some common ones that you've come across?
So I think mostly the things that we just talked about, that it's like daunting, it's a lot of new things, it's hard to find the ingredients and such. So yeah, I think that's, yeah, because it's basically new for most people. So I think it's the like the beginning part that could be what will like if you will make it or not is depending on the first start. So once again, don't think that you have to do everything at once, but start a little by little. So with a few new recipes and a few new ingredients, and then you can do that for a couple of weeks or more, and then you can start adding new things. So yeah, mostly that it's new and hard. And also one thing is that the people sometimes say, but I don't feel like full. I will be constant hungry. Then I just say, but eat more then. So you eat until you're not hungry anymore. So if you would eat meat or something, maybe you would not have to eat as much, but then just add more things to your plate and just find whatever fits your like what fits your hungry, like to what you need to get filled, to feel filled, to feel that you're full.
So, like, just following up on that, in your opinion, is it possible for people, for someone to genuinely start falling in love with a solely plant-based diet?
Yeah, so I live in Gothenburg, which is the second biggest city in Sweden. And here it's not like you would, if you would go to a supermarket, you would find like several like free fridges with different kind of plant-based food. So, and also obviously there are a lot of vegetables and such. So if you live in a big city, it's really easy to find things that you could eat. And also most restaurants and cafes have at least like a couple of different vegetarian or vegan options and things. So it's, I would say, if living in a big city here, it's not hard at all to find things that you could eat. And that's the same thing when traveling through Europe. Like in the big cities, you would have several like all vegan restaurants and cafes, and if it's not an all vegan one, they would have different options. So I think it's easy. And yeah, it's even like, like burger chains would have today like couple of like 4 or 5 different plant-based or vegetarian burgers and things. So I think that most companies realize that this is the future, and you don't have to like become a vegan company or have only vegan things. But I think it's quite very interesting that even like the traditional like meat companies would also have like plant-based or vegan focused things, because that's you need to have that today to be up to date, I guess.
Okay, so a lot of people they find it very difficult to like completely switch to plant-based or vegan diets. So like, what would you tell someone who'd want to find a middle ground between being more environmentally conscious but also not being completely able to leave all the things that they've grown up with?
So my tips would be to, if you want like help the environment, I would say eat local as possible when it comes to the fresh things. So the dried things could be shipped and still be like be shipped in a sustainable way. Not be like, so some ingredients. So for example, like fresh berries and things here in Sweden, we don't have that all year round. So if you would buy like fresh raspberries or blueberries here in October, they would come from like South America, and then they would have to be flown here because they would not like make it in ships for days or weeks. So that would not be a good thing maybe to buy if you want to be more sustainable. So buy things that are local, fresh things that are local and in season. And because then you will do a lot for then you will do a lot for the environment. And then of course eat lots of greens, but not maybe too many exotic things. And in Sweden, so exotic things would be like maybe like coconuts and avocado, because we don't have that here. So they would be shipped from far away mostly. So you can eat that sometimes, but maybe don't have that like in your daily menu or such. So and then also to reduce your food waste is a great thing too. And that you could do by freezing things. So if you have lots of like food that you think you won't have time to eat before it gets old, you just put it in the freezer and then you eat it another time. It's a great way to save things, and also get creative with leftovers. Like know your ways on how to make like maybe leftover root veggies could be a nice soup, or you can toss it around with some quinoa and make a salad and just have some dressing on it. So get creative with your leftovers and freeze things in. Eat local as much as possible, and yeah, then you've come a long way, I would say. And I think like if you would want to eat things from like inspired from all over the world, you can still have your like local ingredients, but you could flavor it with like spices from well, like South America, from Asia, from whatever, and from Africa. And then you can have your like local things, but use like dried goods from other places to get that touch from around the world, but still have your like use whatever you have close to where you live.
Okay, so do you think that there's any diet or any courses that people who are new to the entire sustainable eating thing they could start with?
So as I think I mentioned it like maybe probably before here, but I would say start with a few recipes. So for example, learn how to make a great hummus, and then just maybe change like flavor your hummus with different spices and just add maybe grated vegetables in it. And then when you know how to make a great hummus for different spread, then you can learn how to make a great veggie patty. So maybe start with like making a carrot patty, and then you can just make the same ingredients, like use the same basic recipe, but add beets instead. And then you can flavor it with some like basil or parsley. And the next time you maybe flavor it with some ginger. So, and then you know how to make a great spread or hummus. You know how to make a great veggie patty, and then you can maybe start to learn how to make nice lentil stews, and then you can flavor them differently. So like learn a few different like basic things. And I would say like a spread, a veggie patty, a lentil stew is great basic things, and then you can just flavor them differently. And then before you know it, you will have this whole repertoire of great recipes that you can combine in different ways. Yeah, that would be my tip. And then you can just like search for recipes and make a list of things you want to learn. Like I want to learn how to make a spread. I want to learn how to make a veggie patty. I want to learn how to make maybe falafels. And then you just like do it little by little. And like one week you learn how to make one thing. The next week you learn how to make the second thing. And then yeah, I think that's a great way to not put too much pressure on yourself, but just yeah, learn a little by little. And also like one good thing to get inspired is obviously to like look on Instagram or Pinterest or whatever, or read a blog that you like, and just pin a few recipes that you like and keep them as a saved recipe to like take out them when you have time to learn a new recipe or learn a new skill, for example.
Okay, so people kind of like tend to complain that plant-based diets and foods they aren't as tasty as their counterparts. What would your favorite recipes, which you make, would you suggest to our viewers, which they should try?
So first, I would say so if you once again buy the local in season product, then you would find that they taste way more than if you would just get something that are not in season. It comes from far away. So if you just start by getting really nice produce, then you will find that things taste very much from the beginning. And then I would say just be great at flavoring things. So like use lots of spices, lots of herbs like garlic, ginger, both because it's very nutritious and because they add great flavor. So that's what I do. And so I like Lebanese food because they have lots of like different spreads and stews and things that are really nice. So that would probably be my thing to start with, maybe. And just some spices, as I said, add herbs, add spices, ginger, maybe chili, red pepper, and garlic, and just start with that. That's something that you could always add to anything, like spices, and also like tamari or soy is a great way to add like umami flavor to plant-based food. So yeah, so learn your flavoring because that will help you a lot.
Could you just give like a couple recipes, which you have on one of your blogs or like your page, which is kind of easy to follow and also will help to get people inculcated into the entire lifestyle.
Yeah, sure. So one thing that I love, there's a quite new recipe it's a recipe that are coming out today actually. It's a saffron pasta. So it's a creamy saffron pasta with kale and chanterelles, which is a great like tasty and creamy thing. So and pasta is also a great thing to just add. It's a very easy way to cook. Obviously, just cook your pasta and add whatever flavors that are in season. So I would say yes, start with the pasta because pasta, I think, could be a thing that people would say, oh, but I can't eat pasta without like cheese because like in Italy they would normally have cheese on the pasta. But I would say, yeah, that's a good one to try out. Uh, and then also I have these yeah, different kind of falafels at my blog, which is really nice. They're not like the typical ones, but I usually bake mine, and that I really like too. And then just one thing that I really like is making hummus bowls, which is so I would just make a hummus and then I just like spread it out on a plate and just top it with like some roasted root veggies and some kind of dressing. So you can only search for hummus on the blog and you will find several recipes.
Yeah, okay, that's great. We will really look into those. They also seem pretty easy to make, which is a great thing, I think, to
Yeah,
get people inculcated.
yeah. And also one last thing that I just came to think about. So obviously I also like Italian food, and I have this risotto on my blog, but it's not an actual risotto because I make it on oats, like whole oats, which we have a lot of in Sweden. So it's a creamy like oat risotto with the mushrooms, which is really nice too. So that's one to check out too.
Okay, so like on your blog, I saw that you also believe in environmental preservation, which everyone obviously should. It's high time, and it's a really important thing to kind of be promoting. So, do you yourself take or support efforts for it?
Yeah, I would say that my main thing as food is my main thing, that the whole like eating plant-based, eating local, eating in season is a great way to help the environment and also to reduce your food waste, as I said before, and get creative on how to use your leftovers, and also like use the fridge. So that's the freezer. So that's my main things I would say. And then also I actually a few years ago I did this podcast series where I interviewed 10 different experts on 10 different areas when it comes to sustainability, to learn more about sustainability when it comes to food produce, to IT, to clothing, to traveling and such. So, and that was really really interesting. And what I learned there is that there are very rarely like one single thing that is the most like environmentally friendly thing, because there are so many perspectives to take in. So, and I find that so yeah exhausting to like be environmental friendly in all different areas of life. So I think you also there have to be very kind to yourself, and because you can't only like one person can only do so much things. So I would say do as much as you can, like, and get inspired by different people in different fields, and learn like how you can what you can do in different fields to reduce your like to reduce your footprint, I guess. Yeah, and my things are the food things, and that's what I want to inspire others to do too.
Yeah, like now everything has gotten so complicated that pretty much there isn't a lot you can do, and I think it just adds a lot to the frustration. And like taking very small steps can sometimes lead up to something big. And
Exactly.
yeah, so that's what we should be obviously promoting. Obviously, getting tired of everything and getting anxious of everything doesn't help anyone or doesn't help anything.
And I think that's the problem. So if you would try to be like the most sustainable you could in every different areas of life, you would get exhausted and you would not like do it anymore because you feel like this is not possible. So, and obviously there are main things that you could do in different areas, but then again, I think you have to like yeah do your best thing, get inspired by other people, listen to experts, and then just do as much as you possibly can without like feeling that you're bad, because that won't lead anywhere, I guess.
That is true. Okay, so which are your most popular plant-based recipes that your audience loves?
So I would say what I find is that what people likes most is like the typical like very hearty things such as pasta, such as burgers, pizza, like simple things. Also like porridge and Swedish cinnamon buns and like few raw things. So so mainly the red thread is really like hearty things, yeah, pasta, pizza, burgers, and sweet things. So, and also obviously things that are as easy as possible. So, and like when I cook myself, I sometimes like to have like quite a few ingredients and toppings and dressings and spreads and stuff. And I think for me, who are really into this and like you know kind of like know quite a few recipes in my head, and have lots of ingredients at home, for me it doesn't take that long time to just like toss things together that for some other people could feel like exhausting to make. So even though I like that kind of food, I really realize that what people really like is simple things that taste great, that are like delicious and looks nice. So yeah, so I that's what I always try to do, post more of that kind of recipes.
So okay, so let's do like a quick rapid fire five questions, not much, a quick five. Okay, so five things you plan before cooking, before booking a dinner reservation.
So the first thing I just check if they have nice plant-based recipes or plant-based dishes on the menu, because and then I would rather go to place where they would have like actual recipes on their menu, and not only like yeah we can do something, because then sometimes you would only get like the fish dish but without the fish, which is often very boring. I want to go to a place where they are very creative, and where they would cook plant-based food because they think it tastes great. So doesn't have to be like an all plant-based place, but just a place where they would have great food that I would like to eat. So that's me. That's the only thing I guess that I look for. Just making sure that they have food that I will enjoy. So only one thing.
Okay, so five people who inspire you.
Five people that inspire me. So I would say I have, well, all my friends and family inspire me very much in different areas of life. It could be like I could be inspired by one friend who's like renovating their whole house, and then another friend inspires me who travels and live van life and has a van and travels around Sweden and Europe. So I would say that my friends and family inspires me in many different ways, and all of them in different ways. I also get very inspired by all the people, obviously, that I follow on Instagram. So if you want any like tips on great people who like cooks great food, you can just go to my Instagram account and look whoever I follow, because I would recommend all of them for inspiration in different areas of life. And also I like, so I'm very much into like running and biking and doing CrossFit and such. So I think people that are like athletes inspires me a lot too when it comes to my that part of my life. So yeah, not five like particular people, but my friends and family. I would say the people I follow on Instagram and athletes.
Okay.
That would be my answer.
Okay, so the five people on your quick dial list.
That would be my family members.
Okay. Five recipes that you love.
Ooh, well, so five. Well, once again, a hummus bowl. I would like to say the saffron pasta. I would like a porridge, just like a savory porridge or a sweet one for breakfast. I also love tofu scramble. It's a great recipe, and one of my go-to things is a dal, like a which I flavor in many different ways, have many different ingredients in it. And now during like winter and autumn that we have here in Sweden now, that's what I eat like most days of the week. It's lentil dals. So that's yeah, that's the five different ways. And also I love falafels with like all the combination with the like with the spreads and the salads and the bread and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. Five places you would love to visit.
Oh, that I would love to visit. So I'm soon going to Rome actually. I've never been in Rome, been in Italy quite a lot, never in Rome. So really looking forward to that. I would love to go to Lisbon again. I've been there before. I loved it very much. I'd like to go back to Australia, to Sydney. I would love to go to Mexico City, I think would be nice. And also, where haven't I been that I want to go to? Um, I would like to go. I would like to go to so many places. I would say, yeah, Bali would be nice too. I've never been there, and
Yeah,
I've
okay.
heard the food should be great. The plant-based food is supposed to be great.
Okay. So, you've been featured on like a TV show and you have your own clothing brand. What has been your inspiration behind all of this and what do you plan on doing with it in the future?
So the clothing brand started there. I have always dreamed about having my own clothing brand and to like design clothes. So and also actually when I was younger, I've been making quite a few like New Year's dresses for myself, and I designed my prom dress, which my mom made for me when I graduated high school. So that has always been a dream, and I think that I just like this year realized that this is the right time to make it happen. So it's been a dream since forever, and now I just realized this is the right moment. And I make sustainable like linen dungarees here in Europe. So it's yeah, great fun. It's been a great fun process, and I'm very happy with the clothing. And my plan is to make that one bigger. We're like having more products, having more clothes. So that's an exciting journey. And the TV show is really, yeah, that kind of recipes that I cook every day and that I share every day on my blog and my different platforms. So it's really just the same thing that I do and I do and did before, but in a new format, in a new platform. So it's been great fun. I love working with like motion, like with TV and stuff. So it's been great fun, and I'm really happy about that series.
So, what do we expect to see more on plant-based by Tess, like on your Instagram page or like on your social media?
So I would definitely like to like make this clothing brand bigger and to make it more of a like lifestyle platform where you could come for just like sustainable clothing, sustainable things that you could like could use in your everyday life, and obviously more cookbooks, more recipes. I would love to share more of like the everyday life and get like show inspiration when it comes to like traveling, to working out, to cooking, to many different things. Not sure that if that would be like through Instagram or YouTube, whatever. But to create a platform where people could find inspiration for many different things in life. And I also hope to write more cookbooks. So yeah, few different things, and I get new ideas every day. So it's just about like not having too much projects at the same time, but choosing what's what I should focus on now, and then have everything like save everything for whenever it's time for that project. Yes.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it makes sense that you slowly pace and you slowly grow. Okay, so before we kind of close this interview, what would be your message for our audience?
Oh, so I would say like so there this plant-based world is it's full of adventures and like possibilities. So discover it in your own way and find inspiration, and don't feel it's a pressure if you want to try out eating more plant-based or green food. No matter if you eat it all the time, every now and then, or just as like combination with other things. I want the green food to be delicious and easy and like for everyone. So that's my main thing, to try out plant-based food in your own way, and then just like general in life, just try things. Because when you try things, you know if it's your thing, if you want to do something else, and just say yes to like adventures and try new jobs and try new things and dare to start a company, and just go for it. That would be my life go. That's my life tips for everyone.
Just go for it.
Yeah, go for it. Try it out.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Okay, so I think that brings us to the end. Thank you for having such an
Thank you.
amazing discussion with us. There's so much that I got to know about this, and I'm sure that our audience also found it extremely informative. A lot of things you don't know about, different diets you don't exactly know much about, and then you suddenly get a lot of new information, which makes you at least interested about
Yeah.
it, and that's absolutely great. So on that note, we would bring this session of Yodoozy Chit Chat to an end. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for sharing all of this information. Thank you so much for giving us your time. Thank you.
Having me.